Friday, how's your Friday morning and Friday evening and Friday afternoon going? I trust that you are having amazing, wonderful, and fabulous Friday. Okay, I do IG Live today in English. Yes, English is my second language, but I'm not gonna make that excuse, right? So I do it every Friday. I do English. I do IG Live in English every Friday because I wanted to speak better English. Because I get tired of saying excuse that I don't speak good English. I can't speak good English, because English is my second language. Well, when the excuse rise up, and what you should do, right? What should we do? We have to take action, right? We have to take action to get that excuse to something for better. Hey, Andrew, happy Friday. Thank you so much for coming. So anyway, I will have a special guest after this live. So before that, I will do the topic of today. So 3 steps to solve relationship problem. Okay? 3 steps. Not 3 steps. Oh, sorry, I misspelled. I wanted to do it 3 tips. Not 3 steps, but that's okay. So 3 tips to solve relationship problems. Right? So most of us, right? We live with another human. So I think most of us, we do have sort of relationship problems. And then some people, they are really good at solving relationship problems. And the others, they are really good at not solving relationship problems. Here you are, Terry. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for coming. Right? So, and then I used to be the one. I don't say I am. I used to be the one was, right? Not really good at solving relationship problems. Because until I realized these 3 things, until those 3 things, right? Until I realized these patterns I have. And I realized that, right? And then starting to working to improve my patterns, right? My patterns to get into problems. And then it's just my life starting being improved. And then, of course, we face 2 problems, relationship problem. It's bigger or smaller, but now, because I know those 3 tips, right? And I apply those 3 tips, right? And then I find out that I don't get into the problem deeply like used to be. Anyway, here you are. Thank you so much, you Carp-san. Thank you so much for coming. So, number 1, right? 3 steps to solve. 3 tips to solve relationship problems. Number 1 is, right? So, I couldn't say that. Sorry, excuse me. Study to get to know yourself, right? Bob Proctor says, study yourself. I mean, do you guys know when that's a kind of famous words too. Study yourself, right? I remember when I watched Bob Proctor's video, he said all the time, know yourself, study yourself. And a lot of people, we don't study ourselves. When I tell some people that, study yourself, I'm sure everybody laughing. I know about myself, right? But think about it. Do you observe, you pay attention what you are talking, what you're speaking, or your emotions, your actions? Do you pay attention? Most of us, we don't, right? That's why sometimes we just like say something negative things without paying attention. Or sometimes we keep repeating negative words without noticing. No wonder we're tired. How many times, right? Including me, right? Say something negative. I am tired, right? I wrote it down actually. I need to write down, say, I am tired. I am too old. I am stupid, right? Any other words you can just sometimes you can think about it, right? I am not good enough, right? I am is a very powerful word. So you have to pay attention, right? You have to observe yourself, words and behavior and feelings, right? Yeah, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you, and Andrew, right? So how many times we say that, right? You pay attention, you study yourself, right? And then when you do that, you realize that, I say so many times that I am tired. I am too old, right? No wonder you're tired because you're listening your words all day long, right? And then, words can create who you are. That's so powerful. Words are so powerful. So you have to study yourself. You pay attention to yourself that what kind of words you're saying, right? All day long. That really help. That really help the relationship. That because when you say all the time that I am no good, if you're saying to yourself, you're starting creating the person that I am no good, right? Of course, you're going to have so much problem with the others because you have problem with yourself, right? Whatever you have happening outside you, you are creating already. It's in here. That's why it's so important. So when you start changing your words, right? Your outside the world will change. That's why it's like you have to study yourself. So number two is take a step back from others and build the courage to say no, right? Because when you have a problem with relationship, your friends, your in-laws, right? Your family, your co-workers, whoever, right? When you have a problem, most likely you don't have a courage to say no. So most of the time, right? When you have internal voice, right? You have your conversations that's like, I don't really want to do that, but do I have to say no? I don't want to go every Saturday my mother-in-law's house to have a lunch. I need my day off on Saturday, but I can't say no. And then you're starting to have a problem. You're starting blaming your mother-in-law, right? And then you starting to think like your mother-in-law is just too much. Oh, here you are, Ken-san. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for coming. How are you guys doing? How are you doing, right? Thank you. So, but you know what? Because your mother-in-law is not the problem. You're the problem. Because you don't have a courage to say no. You don't have a courage to say, I'm sorry. I really appreciate that you invite me over every Saturday for lunch. But I need to take a time. I need to have my day off for myself. Right? I don't mind going once in a while, but not every Saturday. You have a courage to say that? Please. You do. It will change the world. Here you are, Peterson. Thank you so much for coming. Here is a little example. My example. Not my mother-in-law. I never had a problem with my mother-in-law. And I did not need to have a courage to say no to my mother-in-law. Right? And then, but I used to have a problem with my family. You want to hear that? Right? Here you are, Tessa. I will get you in 3 minutes. Thank you so much for joining. Right? So, I couldn't say no. I wanted to have weekends off. My weekends off. And then I needed to have a courage to say, I'm not cooking dinner on the weekends. And then, you know what? It took me a long time and struggle, Tessa. Right? But I had a courage. I told myself that, I'm a courageous woman. And then I am a very confident woman. I live the life the way I want to do. And then I kept telling myself, words are very important, right? And then I told my family that, no, I'm not cooking dinner on Friday and Saturday. It took me a courage, but after that, everybody said, sure, yeah, all right. So I just like, that's it, right? But after that, because I had a courage to say no cooking dinner, I'm not cooking dinner. My relationship with my family, right? Relationship with our family has been solved. It's so good. So have a courage to say no, all right? And then number 3 is make sure to get enough rest, okay? If you don't have enough rest, you get tired. When you get tired, you act negatively, right? And you start to get miserable. And then, when you get miserable and then people see you being miserable, they'll have also negative reaction towards you. You're going to have a problem. Easy to build the problem. Not struggle. You are challenged. Thank you so much. So that's why it's so important to solve relationship. To solve relationship, you got to have a rest. I know a guy that he used to have so much problems with co-workers and the people on the street driving, other drivers, right? He sometimes get off the car starting to argue. That's very dangerous, right? Think about it. But he said the other day, you know what? I don't do it anymore. I just like, what was the secret? He said, I starting to have more rest for myself. That's it. He solved the problem by giving him enough rest. That's all. So it's not too hard to think about it. If you take those 3 tips, you can solve the problem. I've done it, and it always works, right? So anyway,